Hello there. I am so glad that you're here tonight because I swear to goodness, people laugh, but every time I start to do something that I think is important and fun and a little bit unexpected, I have technical trouble. Sometimes it's just my energy. That's okay too. But I'm excited because I have been the host of Fate Magazine Radio for a little over 5 years now, almost 5.5. And I've done Paranormal Experience for 10.5. And I've always included UAP, UFO information in my Paranormal Experience show. I've been really fortunate to interview a lot of people in the UFO field. My favorite, and the person that probably taught me the most about it, obviously was Stanton Friedman. And he has been, he was a mentor to a lot of people. He was involved in the original testing that probably caught the eye of some people that aren't from here, because we were testing nuclear weapons. We were developing and testing and hydrogen weapons. And he was involved in all of that. He was also the first civilian researcher and the primary civilian researcher into the Roswell incident. And he had some stories to tell. I'm not gonna lie. And you can go and listen to him anywhere. You can read all of his books. He wrote a lot with Kathy Martin, who was an abductee and was a brilliant human. She was, her history with Bud Hopkins was amazing. So there's all kinds of things that you can find out with that. And we'll have Kathy on, and she can tell you her story. But if you are not familiar with her, it's Kathleen Marden, Marden, and you can find her books too, as well as the ones she wrote with Stanton. And this is a time period that he worked a majority of his life for. You know, we have been sitting here wondering, are they going to talk about them? Are they not going to talk about them? Because our government has UFO files that we were told they didn't have. They didn't exist. There were, what there was, witness statements that weren't all that. And it's been obvious that there was a lot. We had Roswell. Before Roswell, we had Trinity, which I found to be a very interesting thing. But before that, we had Ezekiel taking off in a spinning chariot of fire, right? So from biblical, even farther back to caveman drawings, we have known about UFOs. And I'm sorry, I prefer UFOs because I think that the only reason they changed it to UAP was to confuse the nomenclature so that we would have trouble in the future finding the information. And I will always stand by that being my opinion of the reason that we went from UAP to UFO to UAP like overnight. As Hillary said in one of her conversations, nobody calls it UFO anymore. Everybody's calling it UAP. I guess that's just the cool kids. But man, it's some cool stuff. So I was sitting there because I wanted to bring some videos. I wanted to bring some information. And I wanted to just talk about this. And, we just kicked off summer. I have been doing grandkids. I have been doing my daughter-in-law. And if y'all would please send positive energy. Her name is Brittany. And she was just diagnosed with malignant carcinoma, breast cancer. So she's a young mom. She has a 4-month-old, plus Brittany and Braxton, who y'all know. And if you just lift her up, flow for her, pray for her, chant for her, what you do for her would be so much appreciated. And so anyway, I am spending my days with a 4-month-old. I am spending my afternoons with a 7 and, oh my God, is he 11, 12? A middle schooler. Brentley's a middle schooler. So it's hectic, but oh my gosh, it's fun. And we had graduations for both Frankie and Braxton, and Brentley moved to middle school. So it's been a week. And I'm sitting there chomping the bit, ready to talk about this stuff, right? So I went online and I started just looking for videos. I know they're there. And the ones that I could download, the ones that, I won't get in trouble for downloading. Frankly, it's a government site. I pay taxes. They're my videos. But, I'm just curious because there's so many different ways to look at things. It's just a very odd time. And Robert says that he is ready and waiting, and he still calls them flying saucers. So there's that. Me too sometimes. But they're not all saucers, which I was kind of surprised to find. And I seem to be having a little bit of trouble with my connection. Carl, is that true? I keep seeming to be stuck. Okay, he says we're good. But I think that when we were at Eureka Springs this year, Carl got to speak with the woman whose dad had named these flying saucers. It was the very first episode of Fate magazine. It was the reason for Fate magazine. We are a UFO and other anomalous topic magazine. And Kenneth Arnold was just flying home and got passed by 7 discs. And when asked about them, he said they looked like saucers, like teacup saucers. Well, hence flying saucers. And, Fate has had a large part in this from the get-go. And I'm so blessed to be a part of Fate. I was not expecting that in my life. It was the best thing ever. And so I just feel like Christmas. Do y'all feel like Christmas? I mean, it feels like we've been told no. We've been told no. We've been slapped on the hand for even discussing this. We have been mocked. We've been ridiculed. Stanton was a physicist, and he was, taking a chance every time he put something out about this. But, it's just like, wow. But he's also involved in atomic testing. And people think that's probably what drew the attention. They've been coming here for centuries, but when we learned how to destroy ourselves, it caught someone's eye, and they started coming more. Robert, I should have you on the show with me, sir. We're going to do that. But one of the things that I am so amazed with is that I believe that I had my first encounter the summer of going into 7th grade. And I've had them since then. I don't believe I've had an abduction, but I don't think I would know. One of the things that I'm so amazed by is that anybody looking now can say, oh, well, there's no way. This could not possibly be blah, 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 blah. And yet it is. And I'm going to show you some video from the US government. But one thing I could not find, and if you go and look, it's really interesting. I'm going to tell you. Jeremy Corbell included a video in one of his films, and it's the jellyfish UFO. It's freaky. It was filmed in Iraq. It's going across a US base there, or an outpost, and it's very disconcerting because it does look like a jellyfish. It has dangling participles and things of that nature. I mean, it's just weird. And it's a lot of fun. Carl is bringing up pictures already. That is actually not the jellyfish. That is one of the ones from the DOD dump. That is it. How did you? Did I do that? That's so cool. Okay, here you go. This is the jellyfish video. And if you look, there are people out there seeing that. This does not go all the way to the end when it submerges, but it's one of my favorite videos. Thank you, Carl. I think it looks like one of those transformers, but I think that's very neat. So that's not a saucer, is it, my friend? That's wild. And that really is the first time I saw that was, I think, at the UFO Congress in Phoenix a few years ago. And it was, I may be mistaken, but I think that's it. It was amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing to me. That, isn't it, Amanda? I think it's amazing too, and fascinating. But I think that the whole experience of the different ones that we see, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more because now we're openly talking about it. And, you know, they're dropping them. They're dropping them like, you know, I don't even know what. Like little bunny foo-foo stuff in the forest is what it's like. But it's just something that I did not anticipate happening in my time. And I'm so excited that it did. You know, I've got some documents also, and it's just something that, let's see. That I'm not seeing. Should be under pictures. Ah, yes. I do so love when I lose things. But that's okay. You know why? Because there's so much. There is so much. I'm always thrilled because I think that this is one of the things that we're going to see more and more of. My favorite one, and I'm not showing it because everybody did, but it's the one that looks like a church. It's an 8-pointed design. It's beautiful. And I just thought that, well, that one's been so overplayed because everybody else is fascinated by it too. But I just get blown away because I don't understand how a lot of these fly. I really don't. But my God, they're beautiful. Robert Gorman, talk to me in chat and tell me what you think about this, because you know how much I appreciate your opinions. I think that you're probably one of the best researchers in all of this that I know. And I don't see this going anywhere but bigger, because we've got researchers, we've got organizations like the Scientific Coalition on UAP Studies, we've got organizations like MUFON, we have research scientists who have been working on this. And if you don't think that there's stuff of it right, Pat, that they've been working on for a long time, there's not a cow in Texas. So, it's just one of those things that it's exciting, and it's a little intimidating, because if our government didn't think they were a threat, why did they hide them since before 1947? Yeah, 1947, the only reason that we knew about it was because a craft crashed. And that's the truth. This was hidden forever. It would have been hidden for even longer. It would have been hidden forever if they could do it. So I just realized that I look really tired, and I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm rested, but it's just been a week. But what do you want to talk about first? Why there's no people there? Why there's no history that's ostensibly available on this? Why there's not minutes kept from meetings that somebody was having with somebody from not here relevant to this stuff? Because I really believe this has been happening. It's not, stuff does not happen in a vacuum, right? This is not something that is a secret. Just they have so ridden the people that came out about saying it's not a secret that other people were afraid to do it. And disinformation and misinformation are hand in glove. They are the same thing. Intimidation of a witness results in misinformation. And I think that the people that did that, because we're going to find out there's a lot of people who were intimidated by our government to shut up and go away or put away. And, it's, Robert, I'm telling you, you have got to come on with me. But, it's so frustrating to know how many people were trying to tell us about this. How many people were taken. Travis Walton was seriously damaged in his incident, physically damaged. And that's why he was taken aboard. And, for the longest time, and I know Travis, and I like Travis, but for the longest time, I wasn't sure that I believed Travis. Okay. And when I finally met him and we spent some time together and conversation and developed a friendship, and I was just like, how did you survive this? In your head, how did you survive this once you got home? And he kind of went into hiding. And then he wrote his book. And then the Travis Walton story became it as far as an abductee experience. And I'm going to tell you, that's somebody who really suffered with what happened to him. You know, the whole thing was just weird. Robert says that he's waiting for the publicly released files on the UFO knots, and he can compare his files to theirs. I tell you what, they better bring something and pack a lunch, because this man does his research and knows his stuff. So there's that. But he also says our elected officials have hinted at revelations that will astound and befuddle us. They haven't even started yet, have they, Robert? This is something that I'll show you some. Let's see what's over there. Well, it'd be nice if I could click something and make it work. And now I seem to be having computer trouble. And I froze. I'm going to be right back.
Yeah, you're lagging pretty bad, Kat.
What, Carl?
I said you're lagging pretty bad.
I am going to change this right quick. Can I change my computer?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. I'll keep it going.
Okay, just keep this open.
I will. Hello, folks. Yeah, she's having some technical issues. That computer she's got is something else. So we'll see what she's doing. Yeah, Robert, I agree with you. Well, we'll see what she does here. She's supposed to be okay. She just dropped out. So she'll be back once she gets her iPad probably set up. She'll be back. So everybody go check out fakemag.com and sign up for your books and everything. Okay, Amanda. Yeah, she's always having technical issues. That's why we try to keep a backup system going and stuff. We don't like leaving blank time on here. So, but go on and check out fakemag.com. All their stories and books are over there that you can find. So, and while she's there, if you want any aliens lasered or pictures, send them to me on the Bill of Rights Network messages and I can laser them for you. But yeah, she should be coming back in anytime. We'll see. So has anybody out there got any stories about UFOs they'd like to share? Just put it in the chat room. I can put it up on the screen. Because it seems like more and more people are coming out with their stories about seeing stuff. Because used to, if you said you seen a UFO, they thought you was crazy. Okay, here she is. Maybe this will work now. We'll find out. And she left again. Okay, Kat, you hit the wrong button. We're going to have fun with this tonight. I can see this going already. Here she is again. We're going to see. Stay where you're at. She did it again. Quit hitting the button. That or Al behind her is causing her problems. One of the two. We'll have to see. But if you're anywhere in the Midwest from Missouri to Kansas and north of us, be prepared tonight and tomorrow for some heavy storms coming in. So that's what I've been watching out for while we're doing the show. Okay, Cat, where you at? Her having big problems tonight. We're working on that, Robert. We are going to work on that. I've talked to her about that before, having a live show with call ins. So, as soon as I can get all that set up and everything, that will work out really good. But we got to get her computer and internet situation all straightened up down there. Yeah, I'm part of the fake magazine now and everything, helping Cat. So, Cat, don't touch nothing.
Or okay,
There.
I have not touched anything. I tried to go to another computer and it would not work. So we're back on the one that was giving us a hard time. And it is absolutely lousy. Um, Robert, I could probably put a link in there for you to come in on.
Yeah, but a lot of them are wanting us to set up a deal where we can do call-ins on the show. So I've been working on that.
So you can what?
Do call-ins on the show.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what we're working on.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah.
let me look at something.
Okay. What are you
I'm
trying to
going
find?
to, can I put a link in here for Robert to click and come in with me?
Yeah, we can.
Robert,
You
I'm
want
going
me
to
to
put a
do
link
that?
here.
Which, okay, he's on YouTube. Which YouTube is he on?
I don't know, but I'm going to put it in our conversation.
We can put the link down there in the conversation and anybody could jump in. Is that all right? Because I control it down here who can pop in.
Yeah, you can control that.
Yeah, let me
Okay,
get it
Robert.
all set up in there.
So, Robert Gorman, I'm sending you this link. And you can click it, and Carl can hear you. And we can take it from there. Is that okay?
Yeah, you already did it. Okay.
That just went everywhere.
I was
That's
getting
okay.
ready. I was getting ready to do it.
I'm
Anybody that
sorry.
wants to jump in and talk to Cat, hit that link, follow the instructions, and you'll pop up down in the green room.
So, but I would love, Robert, if you could do that. Carl would be a great voice of Fate magazine. He's brilliant. But,
Hey,
you know,
I'm
as I
part of
got
it because I
sidetracked
produce your
there.
show.
Huh?
So I said I'm part of it because I produce your show now.
You
And
are part of it.
represented
You're
Fate. I know, represented it down there in Eureka Springs where we had a great
absolutely.
time.
Well, and
And
you did it
stuff.
really well too. So,
Thank you.
you know,
Which video were you trying to bring up
I was trying to
to
bring
show?
up some of the, because my pictures aren't there.
You got videos there.
Yes, but they're supposed to be photos as well.
I didn't see any photos in here anyway.
They were PDF, they were copies of PDFs. But
That you don't. You don't have them in
nope.
here. Let me look over on the other one a second. Let me go over
Thank you.
here. Nope, it's not in there. Is it in this? Nope, it ain't in there. You
Well,
didn't get
I'm
them
going to tell
downloaded.
you that this is just getting weirder and weirder, because the reason I say that, these were government documents. They went back to 1947. They were part of the info drop. It wasn't all just videos. And
Okay,
and
I
there
got a
is
question.
nothing.
I got a question. Over here in your video clips, you got two NASA 6-minute, 12-second videos. Would those have the PDF files in them?
Let's look.
Okay, we're going to bring it up here in a second, folks. I'm trying to help her get this all figured out, what we got going on.
Chile Control here again. Earlier in the flight, you'll recall at the start of the second revolution, we had a reference to several objects that the crew spotted. This was in the area of Antigua. Due to a mechanical breakdown, we did not have that portion of the tape available for you. This was a line breakdown between Building 30 and our news center in Building 6. Since then, we have dubbed a tape off the master tape here in the control center, and we are now prepared to play it for you. It contains references to sighting not only some particles, but as well as an unidentified object, plus the booster. Here's that tape. We'll play it for you now.
Gemini 7 here, Houston 98.
Loud and clear. 7, go ahead.
Bogey at 10 o'clock high.
This is Houston. Say again, 7.
So we have a bogey at 10 o'clock high.
Roger. Gemini 7, is that the booster or is that an actual sighting?
What?
Say again, 7.
Okay, we have several, looks like the 3 up here, actual sighting.
You have any more information, estimated distance or size?
But we also have the booster in sight.
Understand you also have the booster in sight, Roger.
And we have very, very many, looks like hundreds of little particles going by to the left out about 3 to 4 miles.
Understand you have many small particles going by on the left. At what distance?
4 miles. Large, looks like perhaps a vehicle that's disintegrated.
Roger, understand they're about 3 to 4 miles away.
They're past now, they're going to polar orbit.
Roger, and understand they were about 3 to 4 miles away.
Trying to turbine, or further.
Roger. Gemini 7, Houston, were these particles in addition to the booster and the bogey at 10 o'clock high? Roger.
7, this is, Houston, this is 7.
Go ahead.
I have the booster on my side as a brilliant body of the sun against a black background and with billions of particles around it.
Roger, what direction is it from you?
It's
So I'm so beyond excited to have that. That was in the dump. And I knew that there had been a sighting from Gemini. I did not have any documentation of that, but I tell you what, I do have Robert Gorman with me. So, hello. Oh my goodness, our first time talking face to face.
Yes, you finally got the Gorman.
I I'm so excited. Thank you.
Hi.
How are you? Are you well?
I'm actually doing pretty well, keeping track of the whole disclosure movement, trying to compare what's been released with what they're promising, but I'm doing well.
Yeah. Well, have you gone through I know you have. How far have you gotten through the files?
I've gone through all the files. I've not gone as far in depth on some of them as I have. Some of the videos I don't have the expertise to analyze the videos.
Well, I've been pretty impressed with the bit that I've found so far. I went through and downloaded a lot. I also downloaded a lot of the PDF files, which are not in my cache that I uploaded here. I always kid around and say, well, I guess they're listening. I'm starting to think maybe it's true, because I spent a good hour and a half to 2 hours just doing the uploads today. And a very large bit of them appear to not be there. Do you think, I feel like that's being paranoid on my part. I can't imagine that, given that they're already out in the public venue, that there would still be a reason for something like that to happen. What do you think?
We're at a very early stage. I heard someone refer to these files released as low-hanging fruit.
Yes.
And yes.
It's very frustrating. I guess they thought that people would be all about the videos, but which my videos, for the most part, appear to be there, but the documents are not. And which really irks me, because I worked very hard to find those and put them up. And I'm on a different computer than the one I did that with right now. But I guess it's a good thing, because that computer seems to be having real issues. So be careful what you download from the government files. But, it's really funny, because with Phyllis having just sold Fate, it's just so funny to me. Timing is everything. And Matt now is the person that's carrying this home, basically. So, but I do feel like she is heavily involved in watching and being aware of everything going on. She lived this stuff for forever. As have you.
Yes. Read Fate since the 60s. Began my main article was published October of 1980, where I debunked the Philadelphia experiment.
That's a topic that freaks me out too. The Philadelphia experiment is one of those things that you just kind of go, no. So you debunked that.
I did. I didn't mean to do it, but yes, it was necessary.
Yes, it was necessary. We have such a lag.
We do. When you talk now, I'm getting two versions of the same conversations.
Well, I'm not going to lie. I had talked to some people about I was going to be doing this show and what I was going to be doing with it. And maybe I was just a little bit too forthright. I don't know. It's very frustrating.
Oh,
Well, if you're running away, at least you're taking me.
so the amazing thing that just happened, and this can only happen on, when you're not prepared. My cat knocked an entire glass of water on my laptop.
Oh, no.
Oh my God. Yes.
Now your cat's working for the government.
Oh my God. So wow. Yes, I had suspected that for a long time. So you may see me dancing around as I try to save my laptop.
Well, you saved that laptop. And there he went. Well, you know what? He'll come back. But Robert Gorman is one of the most intelligent, kindest, and knowledgeable people about this topic, really about everything. And he has written numerous articles. He's a cool guy. This is my first time face to face with him. So I don't even know how to say how special that is. But as he is trying to save his laptop, I just want to say that like I said, I knew that there had been an incident with Gemini. I did not know that was going to be included in the information that went out. That's a really big deal. That was huge. And the guy was fairly matter of fact in his transmission, as were the people responding to him. And the fact that he called it a bogey, you could hear the radio operator, did you say bogey? And he was very clear that, yes, I do see the other part of the craft, but there's also this, and they are not in sync. They're not together, because the I think it was the fuel pod that ejected. Those are free fall kind of a thing. They're not once they're not part of the ship, they're not hanging in a set behavior pattern. And the craft or the bogey that he saw was, and then he said that there were several. And I was just so surprised that communication had that much information in it. And I was not a great believer in any of this that was real being released just because the president said to do it, right? Because there's been so much on every aspect, there's been pushback on Trump from the time that he first started being president ongoing. And the fact that he got this released was just like, whoa, that was unexpected. Yeah, whoa. And I just thought all of this is neat. And Carl, while that was not the PDFs, that was a file that I was very excited to have. And let's bring up another one. This is a short one. while that was a beautiful interlude, and a film by my friend Mikey of our trip to Scotland, which actually there is a UFO connotation. I went there to go to the Scottish UFO and Paranormal Conference, but that wasn't the video that I thought I was hitting. So my bad and my apologies. And I wasn't even supposed to be in this area. Most of these are very short videos. This see here, you probably can't see me doing that. We'll replay that. This is actually interesting because it was, I was so naive. I thought the black boxes were, but they were targeting, and you can see the craft, and it's not black, or to me it looked blue. And I noticed in the course of these different videos that the UFOs, UAPs are not, there's a lot of orbs, and I'm sure they look like orbs because the cameras are farther away from them. But it's something that just, there's no rhyme or reason to the color, apparently. They just are what they are. And I don't know. I just think this is one of the most exciting things that's happened. I know it's one of the most exciting things that's happened in my lifetime. Hey, Robert, I do not apologize. I have dogs, so I'm used to my stuff getting, splish splashed and stuff. I just hope that your laptop survives that. And please put comments and ideas in chat, because you're one of the best people I know on this topic, just about all the topics. But I just am so, I keep saying I'm shocked, because I am, but I'm excited too, because if this is something that leads to first contact, public contact, like governmental contact, then I don't know what to anticipate coming from that. I think that there are people who know and have relationships with some of these travelers. I'm positive of that. I don't know whether to there's a little trepidation. There's not really like fear, fear. Probably Al's cousins. And I think we're going to find that it's not a bad thing to be developing relationships. And I do know that there are people, I have friends who are abductees who have not fearful relationships. They have friendships, and they feel that there's a difference, I think, between what could be considered, a lot of people consider ETs like Al here almost like, drones or droids. I don't know that that's true. I know people have had contact with them that found them to be not empathetic, but not robotic. I think that with the different species out there, that my friend Jennifer, who is psychic, she used to be the host of Pure Universe, She and her husband Kevin did that show forever, and they covered everything. But she is an abductee. She is one of the best psychics I know. She's a great medium, and she interacts with what I would consider star people. And she's very intelligent with that conversation, or they are. And, you know, she shares with me messages that may be for me. She talks about her experiences. She does not like when she encounters people that look like Al, because they are not as conversant and they're not as comfortable, for lack of a better word. I know that you hear talk about, oh my God, this is, you know, there are scoop marks and there are this and there are that. And so I think most of that is designed to build fear in people and humans, because if these people can travel the way that they travel and they just show up, period, then they're a little bit more advanced than we are at a minimum. And I just think, you know, I try to stay on the science side, but I do have friends who have had emotional and human interactions. And so that makes it just so interesting. It makes it weird to me, because I just don't even understand this. And yet now we have information. Maybe we're going to get more information. We'll be able to have conversations that will be in the mainstream. We won't be nearly as spooky, or maybe more spooky. But I'm not going to lie. That jellyfish one, that's spooky to me. I don't know what I would do with that, right? And it reminds me a lot of Star Wars. And that's why the first time I saw it, I thought, oh yeah, pull the other one, you know. But I think a lot of Jeremy Corbell. And I think that he works a lot with George Knapp. They have a lot of information. They have a lot of history in this field. They're very confident in their positions in this field. And that's okay, because they do have a lot of knowledge. I think that it's a little intimidating maybe for other people to be around them, because of their roles in the field. But when you watched the hearings, that, to me, that was a first also. I didn't know what to think about the UFO hearings. And when we're talking about having down to craft, when we're talking about Right Pat, you know, there's so much history with Right Pat. When you have, you know, being asked, you know, do we have biologics? Yes, we do. And that was definitely, I say this all the time, but that was definitely, don't ask a question you don't know the answer to, because you'll look just like Nancy Mace did when Grish said, yes, yep, they are not human remains, not human biologicals. And I really think that some of the best that this field has to offer is yet to come, because we have, I think that maybe abductees are going to be taken much more seriously. It won't be just MUFON that provides support for them. I think that we're going to find we're going to have different science for our rocketry. We're going to have, I mean, oh my God, what won't we be able to have if these people start sharing with us? And I'm not one of those people that's going to go, oh my God, the aliens are coming, because the aliens have been coming since pre-biblical times. I mean, this isn't new. It's not, well, it is rocket science, but it's going to be fun. I hope. Now I hit the wrong button about 6 different times. Let's see. I just do not know where those files are. Let's see what we have here. We do have stuff to look at. What is this? Oh. It took me a long time to figure this out because it's weird, right? But there is a craft and it is moving through here. Come on. That's a very up close cat. I'm sorry. I'm trying to see it too. But Carl, I just don't know. And then there's this. See? I mean, these are government videos. And like I said, a lot of what I was seeing was orbs. A lot of orbs. And it was just bizarre because I was expecting to see triangles or Star Trek kind of craft. I just I was disappointed, really. How bad is that? We finally get anything at all to look at. We get all this stuff, and we just can't absolutely get them down. So I just think it's so cool. And I'm trying to find what I was looking at earlier because I wanted to pull some of these, the ones that I had initially. So I don't even know if you want to go and look at them. All you have to do is go to Department of War, war.gov/UFO. And you will find so much. There are hundreds of these things. And it's just the most bizarre. It's just the most bizarre thing I think that I've ever been able to come across, because Pete Hegseth is, Secretary of War, not Defense of War. And now, with everything going on, because we're in a war right now. In fact, they found a bomb at the bottom of a dam in Mobile, and it was an active device. So, and the dam that it affected, the dam that it was on, affected all of the public water for Mobile, Alabama. And it was just insane. So now people are very paranoid and very worried, as they should be, because that's a big, hairy deal. And when you start to have these moments, then everything is off the chain. And now we've got things going on that are a whole different thing. And I was a little bit concerned because this is when this is coming out now. And it seems like the timing could be a little sketch. But I'm not doubtful. I'm absolutely certain that this is a deal. And I've waited for this all my life. I really have. You know, I was in 7th grade when I saw my first UFO. And I knew it was a UFO. And then I got to see other ones over the course of time. To my knowledge, I'm not an abductee. I've never been fearful of that. I just thought it would be weird. And it's just one of those things that make you go, I have a lot of people that tell me that they've been abducted. I have a lot of friends that I trust who also tell me that they've been abducted. I have friends who have experienced things that they can't explain. And sometimes they're really afraid of it. I wouldn't want to live in fear. Nobody wants to do that. So, you know, it's just, now we're getting to see some of what these people have been kind of dealing with. Just crazy. So we'll see. We'll find out. We'll find out together. And let's see. Now I can do this. And I'm sorry I'm having to do this on the fly. Like I said, I had these uploaded. Don't know where they went. Come on. Okay. There we go. Maybe. Okay. I'm not the least bit bent out of shape because I just downloaded a zip file, saw it, and now it's gone. I'm going to start drinking. Promise it's sweet tea. But, Carl, have you ever? Well, Robert Gorman, I'm not going to be able to show you all the pictures I wanted to show you, apparently, because this is just the most bizarre thing that I have ever seen. Okay, so I've got that file open. So we're going to come back over here and come back over here. We're going to try that. Okay. It says that I can drag. So I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do that. And move it over there. I think we have found a way. Maybe. Maybe. So I am. It's working. We're going to have video. I'm not sure if these are going to be the same ones that I had, though. But we're going to find out, by golly. This one's a big one. That might take a minute to load. Look at us go, Carl. We're getting there.
Where are you putting them at?
They're coming over into the video or the images.
If you've got them right there, why don't you just go down and share them, share the screen up on there and play them?
Where do I do that?
Okay, at the bottom of your StreamYard, there's a little monitor with a plus sign on it.
Yes.
In the middle. Click on that, hit share
And then-
screen, and then pick what you want to share.
Are you seeing it?
Nope. When you go down and click on that little plus, it comes up at the bottom of it, says share screen, right?
Right.
When you click on that, a little box pops up. You got to click on which one you want. It'll show up in that little blue box. You see what I'm talking about?
I do.
Okay. And then you hit share and it'll pop up down at the bottom of the screen.
Well, first I have to bring them, add them to it.
If you've got another browser opened up, that's where they're at.
Well, but they're not in a browser. They're in a file.
Okay. Then what you do is slides and PDFs or an image file or a video file down there. You see that? Where you
Yes,
hit your little plus sign where it says share screen. Are you sharing an image or a video?
I'm sharing videos.
Okay. Go to video file, click on it, and it should come up with all your video files you have.
It did.
Okay. Then just click on the one you want to share.
Right.
We'll get this figured out for folks.
It was so good when. So do I do window, entire screen, or what do I do? Oh, hang on. I see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's got to show up down at the bottom or you didn't do it right. And I haven't seen anything down there. We're still trying to teach her things, folks, on StreamYard. Have you found what you're looking for?
Well, there's one here, but it's a short one. Just bear with me a second.
Okay. I'll bear with you.
Hopefully everybody else will too.
Oh, they're all sticking around to see what's going to happen. We have 15 viewers right now. 12 of them were over on X.
Oh, well, hey.
And people on X watching the show, we can't see your comments on here. You need to go to Fake Mag Radio's YouTube channel or Cat's YouTube channel and comment. StreamYard won't allow X comments to come in. And we'd love to hear from you.
Yes, we would. All right.
And I tell you what's causing you problems tonight. You
What?
haven't caught on to it yet. Al's mad. You can't, nobody can see.
Oh,
He's right behind you. There. The
there's
star of
Al.
the show is back
He
on
is the
again.
star of the show. I think I've got this down to a gig here. Come on. This drag and drop is starting to work.
Drag and drop. I have no idea what she's doing, folks.
Well, if you look,
I'm
let's
a
see.
looking.
Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see that one. I see what you're doing. You're dragging and dropping them over into the video clip section.
I am. Look at that sucker.
Okay, we got to put it back up. Here we go. Yeah. What was the orange going across there?
I don't know what the orange is, but all of the controls that the pilot are using are orange. And then that black box is in almost all of the videos.
Let's see here.
Isn't that wild though? Because it's still going on mine.
Yeah, it is. And then you got this other one down here.
Mm-hmm.
See it. There they go seeing it.
See?
Small thermal signature, and you notice it's going upward at a zigzag motion.
Mm-hmm.
Very fast. Like an orb.
Like an orb. Or like a small craft.
Now, where's that one? Oh, let's see. Is it this one? I'll wait until that one's over with. Yeah. But you noticed in, let's see, is it this one? Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You see the little object floating across there,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Doesn't that remind you of the jellyfish video too?
The motion does. And that
Yeah,
motion
the
is
way,
not
the
unusual.
size of it and the way it's flying.
Yes. But the interesting thing is that that motion is not, it's not unexpected. I mean, that seems to be a relatively, it seems to be not uncommon.
Right.
It blows my mind. So let's see what happens here. Give me just a second to put a few more of these up because I'm just blown away by it. And a lot of these are really, really large files. That's why I tried to do it this afternoon when I had plenty of time, to upload them.
Well, if
Just,
they're large files, do like I told you. Go down here to your plus and you have them as a video on your computer, right?
I don't have them as a video. I have them as a file.
Okay. You have them as a PDF file
No, I
or
have
a
them
slide.
as, they're not a file or a slide. They're a video file.
Okay, they're a video file. If you hit that
Mhm.
video file and click on it, it comes down here, not over there.
Okay.
Hit video file, go down to the bottom.
Let me get back over to the studio.
Okay.
Got it.
And she just went out.
Uh-oh. I just kept my
Camera's
video.
off.
Video plus. Video
Okay.
file.
Yeah, video file. Hit it. And then you should have a box appear with all your video files.
Well, I do have that.
Okay. Now do you know which video it is?
Well, there's a lot of them, so at this point I do not. So do I
Okay.
just
Well, let me
pull
ask you a
this?
question. Let me ask you a question right off the bat. Is there any video on there you don't want to show on a show?
No,
Okay.
not in this
Click
file.
click on one of the videos and hit open or share down at the bottom of the box, like it tells you. Here, I can do it real quick. Video file. Yeah, you'll hit click on the one you want and then hit open. And it'll appear up down here at the bottom so I can show it on the screen.
Well, but it's not doing that.
Why isn't it?
I don't know.
I don't need.
I have a file folder that has them all in it.
Well, everybody's like watching this, trying to teach you how to do this because you got more viewers. Thank you, everybody. And
We
everybody's
appreciate
watching
you.
on both of the X channels.
Well, give me a second because I've got some stuff here.
That's
I'm
all
going to
right.
just do this right quick because
I got to make a video of bloopers on this show.
we've got to. This one will be great. Okay.
And
Where'd I go? Never
you
mind.
clicked your camera off.
I'm going to go get that video file, which is because it's saved. Damn it. Because it's on my OneDrive. It's not.
While you were doing that earlier, I put up the website for the wargov./UFO and brought it up and showed all the files.
Thank you.
And that's where people can go on them and click on them and read the incident, or if there's a video, they look like they're all PDFs. But that's the latest of what has been released.
Well, there's PDFs and there's videos, and you can just click, download all of them and take it from there. And then, you have other stuff as well.
Right.
And I am putting these over in the studio side because they're loading. It just takes a mere moment.
Yeah.
But, I will never not be shocked by how many of these there are. It's just the most bizarre thing. It's unexpected.
And nobody's really shocked anymore when they look up in the sky and they see something that's not normal. They go, "Oh, is that a UFO?"
Exactly.
That's how people
it's
react.
just, and just the whole thing is, it's just freaking random.
Yeah.
We're going to have plenty.
You see where Steven Spielberg's new movie Disclosure Day is coming out here in a month or so.
Timing is everything, right?
Yeah.
So we can actually, I'm going to open this one. And this is actually in a metro area. And what I found interesting was this targeting system picks up the contrast in color, not just in temperature, but if there's, what it's doing now is tracking something that is different from the stuff around it. Right. And it will lose it. And this craft will, it's almost like it plays hide and seek. And see, it's going to see it dive just then. It's really the most, it's like a game. No lie. It's like a game. And
game hide and seek. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. I mean, because these are targeting cameras. These are seek, find, and take care of it cameras. And some of these files are huge. The one that's loading now is a big one. But, I learned so much watching these because it seeks temperature. It seeks something different from the horizon. It's very intelligent. And you can see here now it's a different perspective. And the sheer number of videos available, I downloaded all of them. And the primary dump was just huge. Huge. And now that there's another one. And this looks like it hasn't stopped. Okay. Look at that halo effect. And gone. Now, here's one. This is a little bit long. What, was that the same one?
Yeah, it's the same one. Let's see.
Yeah, I downloaded that one twice.
Yeah, that's the same number. So
yeah.
Yeah.
And I like that they provide the little information for you. And then this, I mean, just hello, goodbye, and hello again. I mean, look at that. What the absolute, Carl? I mean, and now it goes and plays around in the crosshairs.
Right.
I mean, that's
like
bold.
It knows where the tracking center is at.
It's bold. Yeah, it knows where it knows when it's in a position to get locked on.
Nothing out there we have that would move like that.
No.
The only thing that comes close to that is a drone.
Yeah. Pretty high for a drone, especially that many of them that move that fast.
Right. Well, you also got to look at the 4th of July when they do the big drone shows out there in New York.
Yep.
There's hundreds of thousands of little bitty drones that make up any object they want in the sky.
Yeah. But so these are beyond are beyond our atmosphere. I mean, these are super jets that are sent after these. And I'm just absolutely, I keep saying I'm blown away, but there's really no other word for it.
I know.
So, and there's the end of that one.
Right.
And then this is just a little 2-minute video. I don't think I've played it yet. No. And it's like they're playing with the pilots.
They are.
Catch me if you can.
They know where the crosshairs are at.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I just think it's cool.
It is cool. But what'd be cooler is to know what that is.
Without a doubt.
You know. We'll get disclosure one of these days. I don't know how soon it's coming.
Nobody knows.
Well, it's like I've said, and I've told you before. The only disclosure that this world will ever see and believe is if a giant ship shows up in the sky that can be seen around the world with hundreds of little ones outside of it.
Yeah.
Because nobody can say that's AI generated.
Truth.
I could say, you could take a video like this and say, oh, that's AI generated. So,
yeah.
But that's the only way disclosure is going to come out. And they're not going to land on the front lawn of the White House. That ain't going to happen.
They've already flown over. They've already
Yeah.
flown over the White House.
Right. But they're not going to land out there. They're going to hover over a gigantic area where everybody in the world can see.
Well,
That's the only way we're
they
going
will
to get
have to be like, that'll have to be like with Independence Day,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Because it'll have to be taking up that much space. But
Yeah.
I mean, there's some of these that are 150, 200,000, you know, KB on here. And our little program's not handling those very well.
No.
But it's just, whoops. That was not what I meant. This is not the droid you seek, right?
Right.
But
yeah,
I
mean,
just,
we heard some really good speakers down there and talked to all of them down at Eureka about the UFOs
yes.
and different stuff. And I'll tell you what, it brought a whole new perspective to me. Yeah. I've seen
Well,
stuff I can't explain a lot of times, but to listen to the people of what's happened and how they're researching it and studying it is pretty cool.
it is pretty cool. And here's just a couple of more. Because these are short and quick, but no less interesting because of that.
Did you
see the shape of that one that went?
Yeah, but did you see the two different ones besides that?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the one that wants to play hide and seek with it and just zoom in front of it like we're tracking it to shoot it down.
Yeah. And now it's going to go right up.
Mm-hmm.
But I found the shape. I'm going to let this play and start it again because I find the shape of this one to be really interesting. The one that comes across to the right.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that looks to me like the jellyfish.
Right. But look at the very first one. When it comes on, it's right in the crosshairs and it goes shooting across.
Yep.
It's like, oh, they turned it on us. They can see us. Boom, let's get out of here. And the other one goes, oh, better go across this one. And this one goes, I'll take their attention while you're doing something else.
Right? I mean, they're just playing together.
That ain't the two that went across. That's a third one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's like, hello, do you see me?
Yeah.
I mean, just, it is super duper. I'm going to come over to this one now.
Okay.
Oops, missed. You know, as a pilot, that must be frustrating.
Yep.
I've got you. I don't got you. I got you. I don't got you.
Right.
I mean, because our guys are good. Let's see. Here's a little 59-second one. Is that the? That's the. And it's gone, and it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. I just love this. And you know, I just did something. There we go. But I love the fact that this has happened. I love the fact that we're getting to see stuff because it's just so weird.
It is.
I wanted to add one of these other long ones too. Let me grab it. Oh, that one, it wouldn't let me do that one. It said it was too big. I was like, it can't be too big. I want to show it. But
Well, you are limited on size and MBMs
yeah,
of the videos. That's why we always share them. And then it doesn't do that.
here we go. Here we go. Let's see if that one will go. But, I do wonder, because I do have an inquiring mind, just how much of these, these files are not all new files.
No.
Some of these are very old. And I just think that wow, this has been, some people have been coping with this stuff for how long?
Right.
And it's
Well, they
just
only
trippy dippy.
released, what was it, 170 this last time? 170
There's,
files.
that's not, there's almost that many. Well,
The one in May, they just
yeah,
released
yeah.
170. Why don't they just release them all?
Well, because what are we going to talk about after that?
Well, it would take a while for anybody to talk about any of them because it'd take you a month to go through them.
Well, so far, it is. I mean, people are just all agog in a lot of ways, and not so much in others. And you want to see another one?
Yeah, what do you got?
Um, that looks
Okay.
like the one we just did.
No, this one's different. Oh, there goes that thing flying in the air.
And the targeting
Now,
can't keep up.
that looks like the jellyfish. See the shape of it at the top and the things hanging down?
I think that is cloud moisture under it, because the dot is the craft.
Yeah, but it's the same size. It doesn't move with it, just like the jellyfish.
Oh, like it's within that cloud.
Uh-huh. But it's got the same shape if you look at it long enough. It's got the same shape.
But it's not solid like the jellyfish. The jellyfish to me looked solid.
Well, it looked solid and it looked mechanical.
It did look mechanical. Let's see. See, that just came out from, that one's just a little teasy keezy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a short video.
Right.
So this one, I don't know if I played this one yet.
Yeah, you played that one.
Okay.
We played every one of them you got over here.
Well, I've
Over
now
there.
I've uploaded a couple of more too, though.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I have, not just I can, but I have watched these for, 2 days. It just blows my mind. There's just so many of them.
And you know what's got me really intrigued and puzzled and kind of wondering? is, you know how many people fly in an airplane, commercial or private? And they got cell phones. And very few videos are coming out from the windows of people filming.
There are. I mean, there are those.
I know there are
And
some, but
but
not
it just
as many
surprises
as
me.
what you would think.
True. But you know what? I have found, because when I fly, I have my window open and I'm always watching out the window because I like to see the world go by.
Right.
But I fly with Lori, and Lori does not enjoy that.
Uh,
So I'm the person that is doing that. And she's just kind of like asleep. And there's more people have their window closed than open on a flight.
right.
But I just can't help it. I just love to watch it.
Me, when
So
I fly, it's open. I
yeah,
love seeing the tops of the clouds and
yes.
the wing out there and everything.
That's how I got to see the glaciers when I flew home from Scotland that day. And
And when you're going down, you see the little properties. They look so tiny
yes.
for thousands of acres.
Well, I love watching, like if you're flying to Vegas and you're coming in and everything is laid out like a patchwork quilt.
Yeah.
And to me, that's really neat because, and it's all brown, but it's
Yeah.
still got definitive lines. And, first time I saw the Grand Canyon from the air, I thought I was going to cry. I thought it was so
Well,
cool.
let's see. Tammy may have some videos because she flew out to her sister's in Reno. She's
Yeah.
been out there for a few days. She'll be out there for another week and a half.
Oh, wow.
But she flew to, let's see, Phoenix and then layover and then flew from Phoenix to Reno. And then when she comes back, she flies from Reno to Las Vegas for a layover and then back to Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah. Yeah, we made enough money off the food bus that I bought her a ticket because her sister's not doing that well. So
That's
I
so
said,
cool.
you better go out and see her.
Yeah. Do you want to see another one?
Yeah, go ahead. We got time.
This is not the same one. But this, you know what? Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's the same one.
So we're going to stop that. See? Look at the shape. It looks like cat eye glasses.
Yep. Yeah, that one's weird.
I mean, I found that one to be so cool. I mean, I just get excited when I see a new shape.
Oh yeah.
This one's kind of big. Let's see if it's trying to load. And I like the fact too that this isn't just a dot, right?
No.
I mean, I get excited about the round craft, but this is something else. And I've never heard anybody describe, and I've interviewed a lot of abductees and experiencers of different types and people that just are outside and see them all the time. Right? I've done this show for years. I did this on Paranormal Experience. This I've never heard anybody describe that. In all those years of talking to people about UFO, UAP, I've never heard anybody describe this kind of craft.
Mm.
And when I saw this one, when I was first doing the dump, when I saw that one, I was so, what is this? You know, it took me aback. And it was definitely interesting. And I've got one more trying to load. It's a little bit bigger. But I think we have already looked at all of these. But you know, I just keep thinking to myself, man, I wish Stanton were here to talk about this, you know, because I bet he wouldn't be doing a whoop thing that he used to do to me all the time. So, because he was always like, well, this is what that is. And let me see if this is, I don't think we've done this one. We'll play it and see. Look at that motion.
Yeah.
It's like, is it trying to catch someone's eye? Because that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And then it picked up a targeting. See, yeah, see? And now the game's afoot.
Right.
It's like, oh, let me go around in the edges of this. Can you get me? Can you get me?
Yeah.
The answer would be no. I could just watch these all day. I hope nobody's bored.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's actually still there being tracked. I don't see it. There you go.
Yeah. It's right underneath the crosshairs.
But pretty clever, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know, it's like I said, it's almost like cat and mouse, catch me if you can, kind of. Can you get a lock on this? Why, no, you can't. Maybe. Nope. Maybe. Nope. I mean, it's just very, if I were a fighter pilot, I would find that annoying.
Yeah.
I
I
really
know
would.
fighter pilots are trained and everything, but you know how hard it'd be not to lock on it and go, okay, guess what? We're going to find out exactly what you are.
Yeah.
All I got to do is pull this trigger.
I don't think you would ever get the trigger pulled.
No, I would say you would get the trigger pulled, but they would do better maneuvers to get out of the way of that missile.
Yeah.
Even
But then that
if
might
it was,
violate whatever treaty we signed. Oh, this is the one.
but who signed treaties with them?
Yeah. Probably Roosevelt. But this is the one that's been on CNN and Fox and all the other places. But the motion, because you can see the motion so much better. This is This is the windmill one.
Mhm.
And see, this isn't a fluid motion.
No, makes too quick 180-degree turns.
Yeah. And it's like it's playing.
Oh, windmill pump.
Mm-hmm. And I believe that's going to be over water, and just because of the fog level. But because when I've gone through Amsterdam and over to continental Europe, flying over that and stuff, that's what it looks like.
Oh, really? You see it slowed down almost to a stop and then turned.
Mm-hmm. And, I don't know what the motivation for that would be. Right? I mean, it's just the coolest. I'm such a geek.
Maybe they were looking for a way to draw the energy off of it.
Well, that's a great way to look at that. That could be. Because there has to be some motivating factor. There just has to be.
Right.
And darned if I know what it is.
I mean, there's going to
I'm
be
loading
a lot more come out before the year's up, but
well,
it's going to be interesting.
I will say that from the time that Trump said, let's get these out, to when these were released was an incredibly short period of time for what it is. And then, I want to see the ones where they're interacting.
Right.
Personal interaction. I want to see personal interaction, because there's no way that with the stuff that the contactees have been told, there's no way that these are not the real deal.
Right.
And there's no way that they don't have a purpose for being here, and that they're not interacting with people besides people that are randomly driving down dirt roads in Georgia somewhere. I mean, they are here. They are here for a purpose, and they're here with motivation. I mean, we are not the Bahamas of the universe, right? We can't be. And I guess we could, but I don't think so. And, and yet they choose, they've been here forever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember, I know 1947 was Roswell, but before that, in the 20s and 30s, there were also interactions. And I can't remember what year Charlotte Mann's experience was, but that was, she was a little girl. Her dad was a preacher. A UFO crashed, and it had been being chased. So the sheriff and a doctor came, and her father was there also taking care of this creature that was injured in the crash. And she saw all that, right? And so I can't remember, I think that was pre-Roswell. And it was just amazing. So they do interact. But this is a 5-minute video, and we barely are going to have time for this, but I want to see if this is a good one. And if we've already played it, we'll stop. But Carl will know. Dang, that's the same.
But we've already played that one.
How is that even possible?
They got the same numbers underneath of it.
Yeah, but I thought that this
You've
was
got
not.
it 1, 2, 3.
I
You've
can't
got
make
it
it go
on there
away.
3.
Can
Huh?
you make it go away?
Yeah, I can.
Thanks. So, oh well.
You had it on there
Not
3
what I'm
times.
not not what I meant to do because I must have hit the wrong one. That's okay. We have seen so many, and you know what? We're going to have some more in the next week or two. And when those get dumped, we'll look at them too. But one of the things that I am so grateful for is the fact that we got this working. So, you know, people laugh when I say when I'm doing a show that is touchy, that stuff happens. But it does, doesn't it, Carl?
Yep.
And this was because I had everything. I had my whole studio loaded. I had all the videos. But, well, since we don't, can we play that one that says NASA again?
Yeah.
This is the Gemini sighting. And guys, wait, how long is that? That's 6 minutes.
Gemini
Right.
Control
We'll
here
play it for a
again.
little.
Earlier in the flight, you'll recall at the start of the second revolution, we had a reference to several objects that the crew spotted. This was in the area of Antigua. Due to a mechanical breakdown, we did not have that portion of the tape available for you. This was a line breakdown between Building 30 and our news center in Building 6. Since then, we have dubbed a tape off the master tape here in the control center, and we are now prepared to play it for you. It contains references to sighting not only some particles, but as well as an unidentified object, plus the booster. Here's that tape. We'll play it for you now.
Gemini 7 here, Houston, out of your 8.
Loud and clear. 7, go ahead.
Bogey at 10 o'clock high.
This is Houston. Say again, 7.
So we have a bogey at 10 o'clock high.
Roger. Gemini 7, is that the booster or is that an actual sighting?
What?
Say again, 7.
Okay, we have several, looks like the 3 up here, actual sighting.
You have any more information, estimated distance or size?
But we also have the booster in sight.
Understand you also have the booster in sight, Roger.
And we have very, very many, looks like hundreds of little particles going by to the left out about 3 to 4 miles.
Understand you have many small particles going by on the left. At what distance?
4 miles. Large, looks like perhaps a vehicle that's disintegrated.
Roger, understand they're about 3 to 4 miles away.
They're past now, they're going to polar orbit.
Roger, and understand they were about 3 to 4 miles away.
Try the parent line, or further.
Roger. Gemini 7, Houston, were these particles in addition to the booster and the bogey at 10 o'clock high? Roger.
Okay, we're at the 2-hour limit.
Yep. So everybody, will bring you more. Thank you for being here through all of our hodgepodge, and be blessed. See you next time. Good night.